F1 movie is now Brad Pitt's biggest box office opening in China since his 2013 blockbuster that grossed over $540 million worldwide. Brad Pitt's F1 movie scores big in China, breaking past old bands and riding the country's growing love for Formula One. Apple TV Plus teamed up with Warner Brothers to deliver one of the most visually stunning motorsports films in years, as Brad Pitt's F1 movie has finally hit theaters with a bang. Released in the US on June 27th, the film opened to a strong $9 million in China, marking Pitt's biggest box office launch in the country to date. That's a huge deal, especially considering Brad Pitt isn't exactly a box office magnet in China. Just look at World War Z, one of his biggest global hits back in 2018. It made over $540 million worldwide, but never even got a Chinese release. So, for F1 to connect this strongly right out of the gate is more than surprising. It's a turning point. It's clear Chinese audiences are showing up for something different this time. Sure, F1 had a great opening in China with nearly $9 million in its first weekend, but this kind of success is rare for Brad Pitt in the Chinese market. His movies haven't always performed well there, and there's a deeper reason behind it. Take World War Z, for example. It was a major hit globally, earning over $540 million, but surprisingly, it never got a release in China. That's because the film features a virus outbreak that hints at starting in China, something that Chinese censors typically don't approve of. The country has strict rules against films that include zombies, horror, magic, or anything that could be seen as negative toward China. So the film was quietly rejected by the Chinese film regulators, costing the studio tens of millions in potential earnings. But this goes beyond just one movie. Back in 1997, Brad Pitt was actually banned from entering China. The reason? His film 7 Years in Tibet. The movie was seen as sympathetic toward Tibetan independence and portrayed Chinese characters in a negative light. Chinese authorities weren't pleased. As a result, Pitt, along with the director and co-stars, was banned from the country for several years. This ban may have officially ended, but it clearly left a lasting impact. Studios became cautious about using Pitt in films they hoped to release in China. That's why F1's success now feels so surprising. It marks a real shift in how Chinese audiences are finally warming up to a Hollywood icon who was once completely shut out. Brad Pitt's track record in China hasn't always been great, but F1 changed the game in a big way. So what made this film click where others didn't? It comes down to timing, growing interest in the sport, and how well the movie tapped into that momentum. Formula One has exploded in popularity over the last few years, especially after the success of Netflix's Drive to Survive, which, despite heavily relying on drama, has helped the sport's viewership. The docuseries brought millions of new fans into the sport, including a massive wave in Asia. Then, in 2024, F1 finally returned to China after being off the calendar since the pandemic. That alone brought excitement back to the local fan base. Add to that Zhu Guanyu, China's first ever F1 driver, who raced for Kick Sauber and now serves as a reserve driver for Ferrari. His presence gave Chinese fans someone to root for, which helped grow national interest in the sport even more. Now enter F1, the movie, with top-tier production, real cars, authentic racing scenes, and Lewis Hamilton as an executive producer via his production company. The film nailed the vibe and passion of the sport. It didn't feel like a typical Hollywood cash grab. It felt real. So, despite Brad Pitt's complicated past with China, everything lined up perfectly. The timing, the love for F1,